On this section in lines, we talk about three different types of lines. Basically, we've got the vertical line, and you can write the equation of a vertical line going through a point like 3, -2. You can graph it. The point 3, -2 is right there, and when you draw in your line, the vertical line, you see that it crosses the x-axis at 3. So the equation is simply then x equals 3. In fact, all vertical lines will take the form x equals and then the number wherever it crosses the x-axis. For a horizontal line, the idea is similar. If your line goes through the point 3, -2 and is a horizontal line, you can plot the point 3, -2, draw the line through that, and then write the equation of it just by looking at the picture. You cross at y, so it's y equals, and then the -2. Note that the y value in the coordinate is the answer, y equals -2, whereas on the vertical line, it's x equals, and whatever the x value was of the coordinate, there's your answer. All horizontal lines, by the way, have the equation y equals. If your line's not vertical or horizontal, though, that's where we're using a formula called the point-slope form. And we've got point-slope formula here, which looks like this. We've got y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. In order to use the point-slope formula, it kind of makes sense that you need a point, and that's represented by the x sub 1, y sub 1, and you also need a slope, which is represented by the letter m. Now with this type of problem, you can either be told the slope directly. For example, write the equation of the line through the point, let's pick 2, -4, with slope equal to -3. Now on this one you're specifically told the slope, so you can go right into the equation. Y minus, and then our y sub 1 is -4, equals m times x minus x sub 1. This being x sub 1, y sub 1. And then you can go ahead and simplify it. Change minus and minus to plus. And if we leave it like this, our answer's in point-slope form. Oftentimes, though, you'll want your answer in what's called slope-intercept form. And if that's the case, write your answer in slope-intercept form, all that really means is you need to solve for y. So if I take my equation here and solve for y, I want to get rid of parentheses. So I've got -3x plus 6, and then subtract 4 from both sides. So we get y equals -3x plus 2. When you have it in slope-intercept form, the general form is this: y equals mx plus b. So when I take a look at my equation, I can tell right away that the slope is the number in front of x, which is -3. The y-intercept, that's the b, and in this problem, the y-intercept is at the coordinate 0, 2. Remember, on a y-intercept, the x is always 0. So we've got our answer, y equals -3x plus 2. The other way that the question can be asked is if you're given 2 points, write the equation of the line. So for example, if you know that your line goes through the point 1, 4 and -3, 2, and then write the equation of the line, I would still start out with the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. You've got 2 points now, x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay, so I can plug in the x sub 1 and y sub 1 right away, but you're missing the slope. So off to the side, you need to compute the slope. And to do that, we use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Plug in your numbers and come up with a slope. So we have 2 minus 4 over -3 minus 1, or -2 over -4. When you reduce that down, two negatives make a positive, and the slope is positive 1/2. Now that I have the slope, I come back to my problem with that number, plug in the m, and the x sub 1, y sub 1. So this is y minus 4 equals 1/2 times x minus 1. Okay. So, sorry about that. So now again, if I want to write my answer in slope-intercept form, I would distribute the 1/2. Okay, so I have equals 1/2 x minus 1/2. And then add 4 to both sides of the equation. So I have y equals 1/2 x, and then minus 1/2 plus 4, that's 4 over 1, which is the same as 8 over 2. 8 halves is the same as 4. And now I can subtract negative 1/2 and a positive 8 halves. Combine those to get positive 7 halves. Okay. You could also use your calculator if you wanted to and subtract those, or add them I guess, and come up with 7 halves as well. Either way. But now again, I can pick out some information about my line. I have a slope of 1/2, and I have a y-intercept of 0, 7 halves.